Hello, everybody. How are you? I think we we have been. I've been for I think a long period of time without doing any video. So I'm here today to talk about, and there's a reason for that. I'm here today to talk about the things that we can do, and this video I'm going to call it break the rules. Break the rules. Sometimes we have some difficulty in finding a team, in finding something to photograph, what to photograph now. It's like a lack of inspiration that we have. It's I think it's common for all of us, with all of us. And I think in these times, when we feel like that, I think that we should go back to the basics. For me, the basics are small cameras more easy to work without the bells and whistles of the more modern cameras, more professional cameras, but they are so simple to work with that we only think in the photography itself. So I'm now doing a lot of photography in black and white, and I like it. I like it. And I have the cameras that I don't sell because they are my saviors for these things, for in these times that I have lack of inspiration. That's my Leica dLux 109 and the Ricoh GR3. They are the Ricoh GR3. We can handle it with only one hand. It's so small and so easy to work that it's easy to find photographs and to find teams and to work with that. I think, and I can put it in black and white and doing what, and the resolution doesn't go down like the other cameras. I have big resolutions, still good resolutions, with the option of black and white. So I consider myself a urban photographer, not a street photographer. I don't like there is almost a catalog of types of photography, and they must follow some rules in that catalog. I have my own catalog. I'm a urban photographer. And the urban photographer can photograph streets, can photograph people, without people or with people, without other subjects, with birds, with nice statues, or with street art, or with or buildings that are nice and to see, or they are different. For me, that's urban photography. That's it. That's the main thing. I'm enjoying doing it in black and white now, and I'm going to the old photos that I have, and I'm putting some of them in black and white, and I really like, because black and white, we only think on the light and the shape or geometry of things. We don't think, and the composition, of course, but and the relation between the dark side of the photo and the more light, the places in the photo that are with more light. So that relation is good with people or not. Of course, when we have a subject, the photo is more interesting. Of course, it's normal. But if we don't have any subject, but the subject doesn't need to be a person. Of course, we are more interested in persons. We are more. It's a natural thing. When we see persons, the photos get better, or. But there are good photos that have no persons. There are photos with dogs, with in the street, with street art, with the street art should have people or not. Well, it's your choice. You can do everything. But so that's why I call this break the rules. There is no rules in photography. We don't have to have rules in photography. We must know very well our gear, work very well with our gear, and when our gear is very complicated, we must program it to be less complicated. But if we have small cameras like this, I have told you, so I get rid of, I have sell a lot of gear because it was a problem. I must simplify. But when the things are more simple to do, we can think more on photography and not in the gear. If I have two or three or four brands of cameras, I never know when to pick one or the other. If I have 20 lenses, I don't know which one I should pick. So that's an exercise we all can do. We can pick 35 millimeters, 28 millimeters, 50 millimeters, or 85 millimeters, even with the gear more complex. And we do that exercise. We go with one lens and one camera, and we try with all these focal distances. We do all the photos that we want. If we want be near, we go near the subject. If we get the photos um more more complete with the environment around the subject, well, that we go back and we take the photo. So it's everything is possible. But when I see people that are in the with following some rules, sometimes we get some photos get very boring. They are boring. I get bored with that. I see always the same things. I see always the same photos, always the same style, always the same thing. I told here before in other videos that we must find a style of our own, but now I'm thinking the opposite. We must. I'm I'm being like Eggleston style. He photographs everything, and why not? And why not? But we can do better. We can do better than we do. When we photograph everything, we must photograph something that appeals to me, that I like to photograph. I like to photograph fauna and flora too. I like to photograph animals. I like to photograph birds. I like to photograph plants, flowers. They are beautiful. They are very nice photos. I like landscapes too. Landscapes, should they have people there or not? There's no rule for that. We can do it with people or without people, with an animal or without an animal. Um, I don't think we should be so confined, because I feel that creativity can come from all these things. We can do everything. So sometimes it doesn't work. It's normal. It's normal. This video, maybe it's going to be a bit longer, but it has to be with this. When we find that I think I can help, or these are my thoughts. I don't know what you think about it, but what do you do when you have lack of creativity? What should I do? What should I photograph? What am I going to do? I see people with long exposures in landscapes, always long exposures. But why? Why? They are beautiful photos. They are good in what they do. I'm not giving away that. I'm friend of one of the best, Vieri Bottazzini. It's an Italian photographer. He goes and he always do with long exposures, but he goes to places very exotic, very long, very far away, and it's not easy to have that variety of photos. But we can do it here too. It's not difficult to do it. We only need a polarizer and the filter, and that's all. And put the camera in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and we have a long exposure. So we is that very difficult? No, of course not. It's very easy. It's very easy. The time, the colors that we can bring, or in black and white that we can bring. I think I'm going to do some long exposures, but in black and white. So I'm going back to the basics now because I need that. I need to go there. Do I need a monochrome sensor? No, I don't need it. I don't need it. I know the monochrome sensors are very good, especially from Leica, and they are really good because they can go to ISOs were very high, and without losing, without having noise in the photo. But we can do it. We can do it with other cameras. My Leica dLux at 24 millimeters f1.7. It's very good. It's a very good aperture to do it in black and white. And I have some photos in black and white with that camera that are amazing. And the camera is a very small camera. So we can do all that, but must we follow always the rules that we have? No, of course not. Am I going to leave the color? No, of course not. This is only a voyage to the basics, because photography has begun with black and white, and I'm going to black and white now. I'm going to do black and white, and even if I photograph in color, but I'm putting my cameras in black and white. So I take the photos in black and white. I see it in black and white. I think it's better to see the result and what I want. But I think that sometimes we must go to the basics, not only in the having color or not, but in the cameras too. We don't. Sometimes we have cameras that do things that we even don't imagine what they do. So I don't think we need. I think we must use what we have, but the best way, in the best way. So I have a good camera, a very good camera from Sony, and but I'm a bit tired of photographing, and I don't photograph a lot because I haven't done this exercise of after this photographing with the Ricoh or with the Leica dLux. After this, I will pick the Sony, but with one lens only. I will go out with one lens, and then I will see what comes, and I can photograph for a week with one lens, one focal distance, and the other week with other focal distance, and I will see which focal distance I like the most. I think I like all of them, because we can always, because every focal distance has its indications, as its its reason to exist. But when I see a lot of cameras that do this, do that, do everything, and where is the creativity of photographs? With all that, sometime one day, and we have the example of the world contest that was won by an AI, not an artificial intelligence, not by a photographer. So we must we still have one thing, our creativity, and we can do something with that. And sometimes I think we must go to the basics sometimes, to think in photography only, because the basics are very basic. We don't need to know nothing about the camera, and to see if the white balance is right, is not right, is no, the ISO is like that, or not, or the everything, everything has its problems, and when we want to program a camera, a complex camera, we lose a lot of time to get there. But of course, with professional needs a camera that do everything, that do all the things that he wants to do. But when we do it for fun, when we do it for joy, when we are feeling good, okay. Even those who only do long exposures only, they don't do nothing more. Um, well, if they feel happy with that, why not? Why not? I'm not against it. I'm not against them. I think that what they do is very good, is very well done. But who doesn't do that? It's only looking for it, putting the tripod, putting the camera, putting the circular the polarizer, then the ND filter, appropriate for the light we have, and take a picture and take a photo. Make a photo, not take. Made a photo, make the photo. But so they are, the effect is nice, but what's the meaning of that? um, uh, there is no story to tell there. There is no story. I like storytelling. I like the street, because the streets have many stories to tell. So even the buildings have stories to tell. Even the animals have stories to tell. Even the flowers have stories to tell. Okay, so I hope you enjoy. I don't know what you think when you are a lack of creativity, but my suggestion is to go to the basics. Okay, go to the black and white and to simple cameras, and then go again to your complex gear, but try to use only one lens per week, one lens a week. I'm going to photograph one lens a week. Of course, if I'm going to shoot to make photographs of birds, I must have a telezoom, a big telezoom to do it. So uh, there's no science here. Okay, you just go and wait and have patience. But in urban photography, you must have patience too, because you must wait the right time, the time that the decisive moment, as Henri Cartier-Bresson told us, the decisive moment. The decisive moment is after many time waiting for that moment. So that's it that I had to tell you all today. Um, I'm I'm going to do that, going to the basics, going to the forms, the light, and geometric too, which was not so retro look, but the geometric thing. But the black and white, yes, because photography In the early days, they were all in black and white, and everyone was good. Everybody that was a good photographer photographed in black and white. When the color came, it was difficult to implement the color, but here she is. But now we see a lot of people going even to film photography, not digital photography, to film photography. And why is that? I think this is the reason. They feel that they are more in control of the photography and thinking on the photography, on the composition, on the photography, and less in the gear, because the gear is that gear, more old gear, retro gear, is simple, very simple to operate. I don't know what you think about this, but this is my thought. These are my thoughts. These are my opinion. This is my opinion. What do you think? What do you do when you feel a lack of creativity? What do you do? That's it. That's all. Thank you for all. Don't forget to subscribe. The channel needs it. Don't forget to like, to comment, and tell your opinion. And that's all for today. Okay, thank you.